We're recording now.
All right, go ahead.
So I'm Carlene. I'm from Best Choice Realty, and Rochelle's out today, so we have Tyson who's going to talk about his construction company.
So what we're going to talk about today is kind of what the email was stating, some guerrilla tactics to go after more listings and work with more diverse buyers. I want to kind of go over the goal. The goal is to get more listings, get more buyers, and the resources that you guys have available to you. Resources being cleaning, staging, pre-listing work orders, inspection work orders, and appraisal work orders. Best Choice has an exclusive agreement with Timber Coast Construction, which is a company that I own, to offer these services. And the benefit to you by offering these services is you or your clients don't have to pay out of pocket. You can actually pay through escrow. So we're going to get into a little bit of how this will benefit you, how you can market it, how you can get more listings, and how successful I've been with it in my own business on a day-to-day basis. A little bit about us, I'll give you a quick little backdrop. Our company started about a little over 2 years ago. We predominantly do a lot of fix and flips. We're usually running 2 to 4 houses a month, fixing them up. And we started about 5 years ago. 5 years ago, we were hiring contractors and subs, and we kept finding the quality was not to our standard. In addition to that, we had subs that would take advantage of us and rip us off or take our money and so on and so forth. So me and my business partner, we just got frustrated and we decided to open up our own construction company and hire our own people. As of today, right now, we have 9 employees, some that have 20 years experience in framing and throughout the whole entire industry. And we have a well-versed group of people that can do anything from foundation all the way to the very finishing products. So that was a way that we were able to get rid of a lot of the faulty contractors that were out there. Services that we offer are pre-listing, inspection, or appraisal work orders. So really what that is, if you have a listing appointment that you go to and you find that it needs a new roof in order to go FHA or VA, our company will come out there and replace the roof for you and bill at escrow. There is some stipulations and some guidelines that we can get into through a Q&A. Also inspection items, if you run through an inspection, you have a handful of items that need to be addressed. Again, our company will come out there, address those items, and we'll take payment at escrow. Appraisal work orders as well. In addition to all this, we have a cleaning company. We have 2 employees that do cleaning as well. So they'll come out there, they'll clean the homes. You can do this complimentary to your clients if you want, or your clients can pay for it. It all can be billed at escrow. So no one has to come out of pocket. They can come out of pocket at escrow. That includes staging as well, which at the end of this presentation, you'll see some of our price points. In addition to all that, we do, like I said at the beginning, we do remodeling, repairs, we build new construction, we do it all. Go on to the next slide. So some of the promises that we make to our clients is scope of work. We'll never go into anything blind. We don't want your clients to be blind to the fact of what's going on. So we'll get them a full scope of work along with budgets and timelines. Our turn time right now for like inspection related items or appraisal related items, we usually can get to that within a week. And I can usually get you an estimate within 24 to 48 hours. Bigger scope of works like roofs and siding and full paint jobs, those might take us a couple weeks to get to. But if you are able to establish a close date for me, I can usually fit within that timeline to make sure you guys close on time. And then also we have a design and consulting. That's a whole nother piece of it. So if you ever run into a listing where maybe the house is not up to date, or maybe it's very cluttered, or they're pack rats, and you just don't have the heart to actually show them what they need to do to their listing to get it top dollar, you can hire our services. They'll come out there, they'll do a 1-hour consultation to help get the clients to do what you need to do before your pictures and before everything comes on. So some of the scenarios that we run into as agents on a day-to-day basis, and we'll kind of talk about it in regards to how it will help you be more competitive with your listings or with buyers that you work with. So like a pre-listing scenario is if you go to a presentation, you find you're walking around the house, a client's shown, you give me the tour, and you find that there was a previous leak from last year. and you can see that the stain is on the ceiling. You know that likely the roof is bad, or likely it won't go FHA or VA without the roof getting addressed along with the sheetrock or the ceiling. You can take advantage of this simply by referring us out, and we'll come out there, we'll get them an estimate, we'll get them timelines, and we'll address all those items and bill them at escrow. So that way they never have to come out of pocket. Again, there's a few stipulations to a few guidelines, but for the most part, they can bill at escrow. So now you can take those more competitive listings. In addition to that, you can be the agent that no other agent can compete with. If you have that tool in your belt, you can take that listing and market and advertise it as FHA, VA approved, because you have that ability and your client never has to come out of pocket. Appraisal scenarios, I don't know how many of you guys have run into some appraisal issues where the appraiser says it needs, paint needs to be addressed because it's lead-based paint, or water heater needs to be replaced, or the list goes on. Appraisers all the time will call little things out. Those work orders can be addressed by our company, and again, we'll bill them at escrow, so that way the client never has to come out of pocket. Another good scenario is in the inspection. Let's say you run through an inspection and you find that it has the old panels in it. A lot of times when you run into the old panels, I forgot the name of the main panel that everyone always freaks out about. It'll come to me in a minute. But there's a couple panels out there that run into issues all the time. And a lot of times sellers can't afford $2,500 per se, $2,000 to $2,500 to replace a panel. They just can't afford it. So they'll offer a discount. And a lot of times that's not enough for the buyer to feel secure and safe to actually move forward. So they'll cancel the deal. You have the ability now to where you can actually have that panel replaced. The client never pays out of pocket, and that escrow will pay our company whenever it closes. So now that way you can get that deal pushed all the way through. So the last kind of scenario we have is like the competitive scenario. When you're working, let's start with the listing competitiveness versus the buyer competitiveness. So if you're working with a listing agent and you go out to a listing appointment, if any of us have been there, you guys know that it's competitive. A lot of times they're interviewing 1, 2, 3, up to 4 agents before they actually make the decision. If this is a piece that you have in your tool belt to do staging, to do cleaning, to do appraisal related items, pre-listing items, inspection related items, and the client never has to pay out of pocket, that's just one more tool that you have that no other agent has access to. Yes, there you go. Perfect. Pacific Panel. That's what that was what we're looking for. So that's just one more tool that you have that no other agent can compete with. And this is an agreement that we made with Rochelle to only allow her agents and her agents only. So if a Windermere agent calls us and say, hey, I need you to come address these items, or I need you to stage my property, or I need you to replace the Federal Pacific Panel, that we deny them. We will not work with those agents simply because they're not a best choice agent. Now on the buyer side, maybe you're working with a buyer in East Tacoma or South Tacoma, their pre-approval is only $225,000. And you know it's a struggle because it's competitive. So maybe you show them a few more houses that aren't necessarily FHA or VA approved, and you can actually call those agents, those listing agents. And if their seller is willing to at least address those items and pay at closing, then you can get them to go FHA or VA. A lot of times the listing agent won't put FHA or VA because they know they can't get it to go FHA or VA due to the appraisal, and they know their client can't afford anything out of pocket. I've run into many times in my business where I've had those situations, and I've even do a lot of off-market deals. And you can see my last 3 transactions I've done were off-market with appraisal-related items, and no one ever paid out of pocket, and they all paid at escrow, and the buyers loved me. Those were buyer scenarios. And again, I use it for listings all the time. So we'll kind of go to the facts and questions. We're going to go over to the facts and questions. These are like the standard questions I get all the time, and we'll open it up to do some Q&A real quick, so that way you guys can ask some questions. What happens if the deal expires or it cancels or goes back to temporary off market? We do require that the client pay within 30 days of completed services prior to any work orders being done. Your client will need to sign a Timber Coast construction agreement, and the agreement just clearly states that if the deal cancels or whatnot, they'll have 30 days and they'll need to pay us. We'll work with that. We totally understand that things might temporarily go off market and come back on. But everything's within reasonable amount of time. I mean, we don't want to sit there and replace a roof and then 6 months later all of a sudden they want to pay us. So there is little things, but the benefit to you as an agent, if you're a listing agent, is they're a little more tied to you if they want to use your services. So it makes it just a little harder to fire the agent when they have these ties to you as the agent. What are our rates? I would say get out there and give us a try. You'll find we're very, very competitive. We're always right in the middle. We're never too high and we're never the lowest. We're always in the middle. And it seems for the most part, every time that we've done these bids, and we've done probably for Rochelle's company alone, at least a couple dozen so far now, and probably have done out of the couple dozen, 24 that we've done bids for, 20 of them have went through. So we've been competitive enough to where nobody really balks to any of our prices. Can we utilize your services prior to or outside of inspection-related items? Yes, we're a full-service company. Are there any limits to the size of the job that you can handle? No, we're actually building a house from the ground up. We tore it down. It was a firehouse. We tore it down, built it from the ground up, foundation and everything over in South Tacoma, so we can handle anything. Can I pay out of my commission? That's another one we get all the time, because sometimes they want to offer cleaning services and pay out of their commission, or they'll want to pay for half of the staging. Sorry, half the staging. And yes, you can pay out your commission. That's between you, your client, and escrow. That's just an addendum that you guys write and you send that to escrow. At the end of the day, we don't care how the pay goes through. We'll take payment at escrow. It's between you and your client to figure out what you guys want to do. Where do you serve? Where do you have service at? Right now we're King and Pierce. We will go outside of King and Pierce. There is additional fees. Usually we'll toss an extra 10% onto the bid to go out of area. But if you run into something, if you're down in Thurston County, you're up in Snohomish County, and you just can't find the contractor that needs the work, a lot of times we can do these bids over the phone or do these bids via the 35R and get you an idea, and then we just tack on roughly about an extra 10% when we have to go out of area. So these are kind of the fees. These are just for the house cleaning and the staging. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. 0 to 1,000 square feet, $230. 1,000 to 2,000 square feet, $350. Anything over 2,000 square feet, $495. The price is per unit, so if it's a duplex, that's 2 units. Price is subject to cleanliness of home. Our ladies are pretty good. Our group is pretty good about getting in there. They clean out the fridge, the oven. They clean the windows. If the windows are too high and they can't get to them, they won't clean those. If they open the oven up and it looks like no one's cleaned it in 10 years, there will be an additional fee to that. So it's if you as an agent walk in and you yourself are disgusted with the amount of filth that's in there, you can probably assume there's going to be an additional fee. But if you walk in, you see the place is pretty clean, you're never going to really find anything that moves away from those prices. Staging, pretty flat and basic flat rate. It's 0 to 1,500 square feet, $1,650 if you want to pay out of escrow. If you want to pay the second that it's completed, so if she goes and stages on Friday and she's done on Friday and you want to pay her up front, it's $1,550. So you get an extra $100 off if you pay up front. And then if it's over 1,500 square feet, there's a little bit of a discount and you kind of see the price there. So it's $1.05 per square foot and $1 per square foot. And the staging consists of living room, a bedroom, the master bedroom, the kitchen with accessories, the dining room, and one additional bedroom, which will usually have just a small stage to the one additional bedroom. So it's pretty good for what you get. And then kind of fees and cost. Everything's on a case-by-case scenario. This is where the questions usually kick in the most. How does the billing structure work? So if it's a pre-listing item, we do a maximum of $10,000 on pre-listing, maximum of $10,000, and we do require 50% up front. Now, if it's an inspection or an appraisal item, we still do it up to $10,000, but we'll take 100% payment at escrow. So as long as you have it under contract, we'll take 100% payment at escrow. up to $10,000. Anything above $10,000, the customer has to pay the difference out of pocket. So if it's $11,000, the customer has to come out of pocket at $1,000. We'll take the other 10 at escrow. And then in the email, you saw the order form. You just click on the order form, and it comes directly to us over at Timber Coast Construction. If you want to send us an email, so there's 3 ways to do it. If you want to send us an email, in the subject line, put the address and the work needed, i.e., example being address staging or address inspection, address appraisal. In the body, please provide your client's information, your escrow's information, because that information is the stuff I need in order to get payment at escrow. And then also please provide the inspection report in the 35R, along with what you either agreed to or what you're proposing to agree to. So the more information you give me, the quicker I can get you a response. And the benefit that you have is you have an agent who is very, very versed in the 35R and inspection reports. So as long as you guys let me know what it is that you're intending to accept or what you want to work with in regards to addressing on the 35R, then I can get you an estimate without really having coming to the house. And the reason why is because the inspection report will show me pictures, will show me everything, and everything's public information. So I can usually get you a pretty good idea of what something will cost. That way you can either A, get the detailed bid, or B, just negotiate your way out of it if you want to. If I need something that's more detailed, again, I am a licensed agent, so I can make contact with the client, go out there, access the house without the client needing to be there, make my measurements, do everything I need, and then come back and get you the actual estimate. And then it's just our gallery. These are several of our homes that we've already done. Like I said, we do everything. You can reach out to Terry Nelson. She's used us. She loved our services. Rochelle has used us a handful of times. She actually used us on a pre-listing. She had a client where the bathroom was completely gutted, and they went through a couple different contractors that were flaky, no-show, everything. Came in, remodeled the whole entire bathroom. She got it on the market, and bam, sold that thing within a week. So just and then there's some contact info as well. How do you want to? Can you open up to where they can? Okay, so we're gonna just do a quick little Q&A, allow you guys to have as many questions as you want. So that way I can help answer anything that you might have questions on. All right, I can hear everyone.
Question.
All right, so Emily, is that okay?
Thank you. You gave me a bid one time. I ended up not being able to secure the contract on the buyer. It just needed too much work, but I can vouch that I just sent the inspection report and got a really good bid in a reasonable amount of time. I appreciate that. And next time we'll make it work, right? Right. And I wanted to ask on the staging side, I mean, is this like a plethora of colors and styles, or is there any kind of limitation? I understood you bought a staging company, is that correct?
You are muted.
Hold on, I'm going to mute everyone else that way.
That's who it was.
Go ahead.
Do I remember correctly that you actually bought a staging company? So you have a lot of variety and options, or is it kind of limited in terms of colors and styles?
No, so we were in the process of buying a staging company. It didn't work out. We were trying to make it work and couldn't make it work. But we still have the person that we were in the process of purchasing. We actually work with her directly. So we've negotiated very aggressive and very fair pricing that she honors with us. You can actually, if you want to go into Agent Roster and roster my name, you'll see everything that we've staged, all the listings that we stage, and it's all her work.
Okay.
And that kind of helps give you an idea.
Yeah, I do a lot of my own stuff, and it takes a lot of time, so I'm about ready to start
Yeah.
getting that. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I have a.
This is
This
Linda
is Linda
DeCure,
DeCure, and I have a house over in Renton by the airport,
and
and
it has
a
a roof that
roof
needs
that
to
needs
be
to be
repaired.
repaired.
How do you
How do you
operate with
with
the
the 3-day response time from the buyer sending in the 35 AR?
How do I address
And-
the response time? Was that the question?
Yeah, because we only get 3 days to respond back to them, but it might take you longer to get an estimate.
So with, again, everything, I have access to Realist. I have access to a lot of stuff. So I can see how many square feet the house are. There's a lot of stuff I can see. And then even in the inspection report, I can see a lot of things in the inspection report. A lot of contractors like to come up there and they like to measure and they like to get it all right to the T. For the most part, I can usually get the numbers based off of what I see on Realist, what I see from your inspection report, what I see from Google Street View, so on and so forth, and be within 5%. So if it's a $10,000 roof job, I'm usually between 9,500 and 10,500. And that's just me not going out there. If I go out there, I can tighten it up a little more, and it's usually within 2 or 3% of what the actual is.
So to do that, send that to info@Timber Coast Construction.
Yep. So you send your inspection report with the 35R with what you agreed to, and give me
Okay.
about 24 hours, and I'm pretty darn good about getting those things done. The only other
Okay.
things that sometimes I need to see is the pitch of the roof, but Google Street View is good on that. And if I don't have Google Street View, I can go to your listing and I can see it in your listing.
Yeah, this is actually a flat two-car garage roof.
Okay.
So that should be fairly easy. So I'll send that to you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Not sure. I'm going to unmute.
I think he's on his phone and I think he's on both. That's why.
Okay. I guess wave your hand if you want to ask a question, because we have him muted because it was giving a bunch of feedback. Anyone else? Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Well, if there's no other questions, feel free. You got my phone number directly. You got the office number. You got the email. You can text me, email me. I'm pretty good about all the communications. If you want to just pick my brain, if you want to get more knowledge, call, and I'll be more than happy to walk you through and help you as much as possible. With that being said, let me know if there's anything else you guys need. And yeah, we'll do what we can to help you.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.